Watching it live. All right, another beautiful day. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Niambi. Beautiful day here in Houston at the Panera Bread in Houston, Texas. Go ahead and share. We got breaking news this morning. For those of us who are playing the money game to win and not to lose and want to learn and implement the rules to the money game, we got breaking news for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. You don't want to miss it. Cold and snow here in the Midwest. All right, well, you be careful out there, Sister Niambi. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Positive Minds. Welcome. This is your first time here to the Money Scope, TMG, the Money Scope. Go ahead and put your name in there and let us know where you're from. We got some real good members here. They like to welcome you and welcome you to the money game. So this is your first time putting in there your name and what city you're from. Let's go ahead and get started. Cali. All right, that's my home state, Cali. Matter of fact, the Bay Area, where the Super Bowl was played last night, is where I was born and raised, in the San Francisco Bay Area. All right, Texas, welcome. Yep. All right, brothers and sisters, Southern California, never rains. Oakland, all right, there it is. Oakland, California, where my boys, good friend of mine, Tony from Oakland, California. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started. Let's double the count real quick. It's the top of the hour. I don't want to, delay us any longer than what we have to, but we have to get our count up. So go ahead and share. I need for everybody that's present to share. We got Meerkat in the house with us. I'm gonna see if I can get Meerkat a little bit higher up. I got my stuff propped up. I don't want it to fall. It's a beautiful day here in Houston, but we might get a little wind. Go ahead and share it, brothers and sisters. Go ahead and share it. I'm looking at the count, and the count needs to come up. This is important information. If it was talking about, Beyonce, and of course, I love Beyonce. Beyonce is from here, Houston. Thank you very much, Positive Mind. And I've had the opportunity to work with Beyonce and her people a couple of years ago. So that was a life experience. Thank you for sharing your followers. Thank you. We have breaking news this morning, brothers and sisters. Breaking news for those of us who are playing the money game to win. Oh, shoot. Playing the money game, almost in the we're going to try something else with this Meerkat. All right, so breaking news for today. Before we get started, let's go ahead and turn you around and let me be polite. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is DarrellMuhammad, real estate investor, mentor, coach, entrepreneur, sales and marketing expert, online, offline, networker, network marketer, former stockbroker. I was a stockbroker from 96 to 2002, which was a very, very eye-opening experience that I want to share some of that with you today with the breaking news. Okay, breaking news. For those of us who are playing the money game to win. Now, the way that we can connect, if you like the message, if you heard it before, we're putting together a community of like-minded individuals, those that want to take action and make things happen. That's what we're looking for, and we're building a community. So if that's what you're about, if you're about hashtag black economy, hashtag black dollars, hashtag black wealth, right? Hashtag black financial empowerment, economic empowerment. If you're about that, brothers and sisters, then we want to encourage you to go to DarrellMuhammad. See if I can get a little better. Thank you, Positive Mind, so I can kind of see the Mexico. Juan from Mexico. All right. I go to Cancun at least twice a year. So if that's what you're about, brothers and sisters, thank you very much, Sister Niambi. I'm going to see if I can get a little better angle so I can see. When you start moving stuff, that's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll see. Thank you very much. All right. So, DarrellMuhammad.net. You go there, hit one of the posts there, the blog post. You'll see a subscription box at the bottom. Go ahead and subscribe, brothers and sisters. We have 2 to 3 live events every month where we're going to go more in depth in these ideas and these rules and these concepts and these strategies that we share with you here at the money game. All right, so that's what you need to do if you're serious about not just for yourself, not just for your family, but for our black community. All right, that's what it's about, brothers and sisters. There's really no reason to be rich, right, or to be wealthy if it's just about you. That's not required. It's not required for you and I to be wealthy or rich for our families to live comfortably. That's not required. And to be honest with you, it's too much work just for ourselves and our family, right? But we need to include the community. Why? Because we have to draw that wealth from somewhere, right? The money, to win at the money game, the money has to come from somewhere to us, all right? So go to DarrellMuhammad.net, subscribe. If you want to find me on any platform on social media, it's Darrell Muhammad, DarrellMuhammad, Darrell Muhammad on YouTube, Snapchat. Follow me on Snapchat. Snapchat is going to become huge, bigger and bigger for teenagers. All right. So you want to get ahead of the curve. So find me there. Find me at Twitter. Find me at Facebook page, Darrell Muhammad Facebook page. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started in the breaking news, brothers and sisters. And this is something that we have to understand. We have to be reminded. And the thing that really started me down this pathway is when I was a stockbroker. I became a stockbroker, and like I said, 1996, for one of the top 4 major Wall Street firms. Dean Witter, no longer around. Dean Witter, it's the same firm that the brother who Will Smith played in Pursuit of Happiness, right there in San Francisco. Dean Witter. So I started at Dean Witter, went to New York for training, and was there for 3 weeks and trained in one of the towers. But, as I became a stockbroker and started investing clients' money and millions of dollars, I started handling millions of dollars, and started watching and observing and asking questions, right? Started asking questions. Now, what I did was I noticed, brothers and sisters, that, there's only 2 classes, if you will, right? 2 economic classes. You want to say the poor, the middle class, and the rich. Well, the middle class don't exist anymore, hardly anymore, right? And the poor is getting bigger. You get squeezed down. You never get squeezed up, all right? That's something you need to understand and learn in order to play the money game to win. When you're getting squeezed, when you see squeezing is taking place in the economy, you have to ask yourself which way. Well, it's not which way. There's only one way to get squeezed, and that's down. That's down. You don't get squeezed up. You get squeezed down, okay? So we have to position ourselves for when the squeezing comes. As you play the money game and learn about the money game, you understand that everything has cycles, right? So you don't get too excited and you don't get too depressed. Learn that from Jeffrey Combs, one of my mentors. He says it like this. He has low highs and high lows, right? So see, you understand these things. So you don't get over exuberant when you see things are going well for yourself. Not that you be pessimistic, but you understand the game. You understand seasons of life, and you understand cycles in the economic market. You understand cycles in different industries, right? And that's how the pros play the money game to win. They know when to get in, when to get out. They get in on the lows and they get out on the highs, right? Or when the price of things are accelerating. They don't try to time it perfectly, because nobody can do that, right? So they get it at a certain, they call it strike price, right? Stock market term, strike price. And they sell it, and whatever's left on the table for profit, then that's good. But they keep it moving, and they compound on positive returns instead of positive, negative, because they're trying to time the exact time. Positive, negative. They do positive, negative, positive, negative. That's how you got to win at the money game, brothers and sisters. That's the only way to win at the money game, is understanding that concept. Go ahead and share it right now. Hit that paradiddle in the corner. All right, we're about to get into our breaking news, but as always, we got to prepare our minds. I don't know what you guys are doing over there on your end. You might be, multitasking, because, that's very popular for the poor and middle class people. But rich people do not multitask. They focus, right? Laser focus one thing at a time, right? Thank you very much, Green Tea. Appreciate you. Go ahead and let's share it right now, brothers. So let's go ahead and share. Let's go ahead and double up. You should be talking about streams like this. All right, definitely this one, but streams like this on social media. All right, because see, we have to understand, and I don't talk about this here about social media and how to use it, but you add credibility to who you are by sharing valuable information that other people have, right? Because social media is not just about you. It's supposed to be an exchange. It's supposed to be a dialogue. At some point in time, the individuals who are participating, right, who should exchange with one another. But we're talking about the breaking news, brothers and sisters, that you and I need to be constantly aware of, right? Constantly aware of in order to play with the right understanding, with the right motivation. You can play with the wrong understanding and the wrong motivation. But I was telling you about what I learned here as a stockbroker when I was there, and especially being at a major Wall Street firm and seeing, the type of money that came in. I had access to the entire database of investors. So we would look at certain people, certain investors, right? And we would actually just look, couldn't touch, but just look. But the question popped up in my mind, all right? And I'm not cynical. Some of you all are cynical, and you shouldn't be cynical. Look up that word, don't be cynical, because it doesn't do you any good, and it doesn't harm anybody but you, all right? So I saw these ultra wealthy people. One of the guys over at Enron, if y'all know that story, here in Houston, he had one of his accounts was at Dean Witter. And I looked in there and saw 20 million, 30 million, and I constantly saw more. And I hear people on the radio, on the news stations. I was watching CNBC and, about these rich people getting richer, right? I heard about how they, over the past year, the top certain percent net worth increased 20% during a recession. So I started thinking, I said, why are these people, they got billions and billions of dollars, why Warren Buffett still making money? Why Bill Gates still making money? Why T. Boone Pickens still making money? Now it's a game for them. See, you got to understand. See, at our level, we think it's money, 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 money. See, that's that cynical. Greed, 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 greed. Power, power, power. Yes, some of that plays a part. But that can't be a motivating factor, because that'll cut off sooner or later. These folks don't have the drive that they have. Bob Johnson, a brother, right? Don't have the drive that they have for money, because my point is they have enough money for their generation and generations to come. So I had to ask myself, and I always ask myself, why are these people still getting more money? They don't need any more money. Why are they getting more money? What is their drive beyond what I can see? It got to be something, because I don't have that kind of drive. See, I wanted that kind of drive. So that's why the question came up. Not out of cynical, not out of the poverty mentality programming that we've been given. They greedy, they bad people, they got inside secrecy, you can't do that, and see, only they can do it. See, get rid of that thinking. That's cynical, doesn't do anybody any good, and it does you more harm than anything, right? You never win at playing the money game with that kind of mentality. So I asked the question, why are these people doing it? And you'll be surprised when you constantly put a question out there in the universe, or for God to answer for you. You'll be surprised. He will answer it. And then you do it often enough, you won't be surprised, because you know he'll answer it, right? So I asked the question, and this is what I found out. And here's the breaking news right here, brothers and sisters. Here's the breaking news right here. Here's the breaking news right here. You ready? Here's the breaking news right here. The U.S. government is broke. It has no money for Social Security. It has no money for the entitlement program. It has no money for Medicaid. It has no money for Medicare. It has no money. The American government is broke. They tell you that they're in a deficit of $19 trillion. But that's what they tell you and I. The balance sheet, right? Profit and loss balance sheet says differently. The profit and loss balance sheet says it's up towards 60 to 70 trillion dollars in debt. In debt, brothers and sisters, in debt. Meaning there is no positive cash flow. They're operating out of a deficit, right? And they're borrowing money to stay afloat. They're borrowing money to pay the bill. It's just like if your bills were $10,000 a month. You bring in $5,000, but you borrow money to pay the $5,000 short every month. year after year after year, and then you borrow more debt, right? You borrow more money, and you do that to keep it afloat. But sooner or later, brothers and sisters, that's going to come to an end, right? Sooner or later, that's going to come to an end. So to answer my question, as I kept that question out there, and answers started coming to me, right? The answer is because those at the top, not the middle class, not the poor, but those above middle class in the rich category, they know, brothers and sisters. Why? Because they're on the inside with their friends who know, right? Who are inside working, pulling the levers, right? Who are meeting with governors and heads of banks, right? And they know. And they come back and tell their friends, and they come back and tell others, man, you better try to get as much money as you can, right? Get as much money as you can, because sooner or later this dollar is going to collapse or be worth near nothing. And whoever has the most money, right? And not just money, but I'm just giving you the answer. Whoever has the most money has a better chance. See, winning at any game, the rule to winning and the rule to success, as I said before in these live streams, is mathematics, right? It's you doing the right things long enough, consistently enough to minimize your chances of loss. It's not a game of chance. It's you taking calculated, intelligent steps based on variables, right? Based on the dynamics in which you're operating in. And this is what we need to learn about the money game. So you can mathematically increase your chances of winning and mathematically decrease your chances of losing. So they tell their friends, get as much money as you can. Why? So when this thing continues to fall, the dollar continues to fall, and it becomes less and less. We talked about the squeeze start taking place, right? You can always be above the squeeze. See, it's about being above the squeeze, brothers and sisters. See, we're not above the squeeze. See what I'm saying? See, I know better. I'm trying to help you to recognize and know better. Just because somebody pulls up in a nice car, that doesn't mean they're above the squeeze. They still middle class. See, you may not know. But when I became a stockbroker, I found out to get out of the middle class, you have to make $250,000 a year to get out of the middle class. Now you're at the bottom of the class called rich. So you're a poor rich person. That's income. That's not net wealth. That's just based on income. That's not net wealth. See? That's based on income. So if you and I are not making $250,000, brothers and sisters, I don't care how many degrees you got on the wall. I don't care how many alligator shoes you got. I don't care how many Louis Vuittons you got. I don't care how many Michael Kors you got. If you're not making $250,000 minimum a year, you in that category called squeeze. You're in that area called squeeze. So they got enough money. So if a loaf of bread went to $100, $100 a loaf they can eat. See, those of us in that squeeze area, if it went up to $100 a loaf, you and I couldn't eat. We couldn't make a sandwich. We'll have to go in with our neighbors, pitch in to get a loaf of bread, right? Now you might get one or two slices out the whole loaf, right? But how long is that going to last? How long is that going to last? See? We don't have the mentality of our foreparents that got them through recessions, that got them through segregation, see? So we're less prepared. That's why we're losing. Right now, we're losing in the money game because we're not prepared. So the breaking news, brothers and sisters, America is bankrupt. It has no money. And you will see this starting January of next year when Obama gets out of office. There will be no compassion for the poor. And we can holler racism and all that kind of stuff, and all that stuff is true. But beyond that, we have to understand America, the government is going to have to do everything it can to survive. Because in their minds, those at the top, white Americans, this is their country. They got to preserve it for themselves and their children. Then if you and I can get a little something out of it, that's fine. But they're not going to try to save us at the expense of saving themselves. Who does that? Nobody does that but black people. Nobody does that but black people. Right? They sacrifice, they suffer for the benefit of somebody else. Don't nobody do that. See, and we expect them to do that, and they refuse to do that because they know that's not natural. That's not natural. All right? This is hashtag black dollars, hashtag black economy, hashtag black wealth, hashtag black financial empowerment, economic empowerment, brothers and sisters. I'm going to tell it to you like it is for about 20 minutes, and we're going to drop the mic and be back tomorrow, right? So the government is broke. See, this is the motivation we have to win at the money game. It can't be money. It got to be with it something so strong that it makes us get up in the morning, right? It makes us unite with each other, even though we crazy as hell, right? It makes us, get punched in the nose, and as the scripture says, we forgive our brother because he knows not what he or she does, right? See, that's what it's going to take. This is the price I have to pay to secure something for me, my family, my community. Because everybody lives in a community, and if your community is threatened, how safe are you? How safe are you? Houses burned down because the house next door caught on fire, not their house, right? Their house is damaged by the water from the firemen putting the house next door out. So you and I are going to wait until it gets next door, and then we're going to cry out for help, and nobody's going to come and help us because we're not trying to help anybody when we're in the better position to help. See, we got to understand the money game, right? It's called circulation. It's called medium of exchange. It's called currency. It's called cash flow. See, these terms we have to understand. We have to understand these terms. So I saw recently Bloomberg, major financial news wire, news publication. If you're not familiar with Bloomberg, that's the part of the problem. That's why you never win at the money game. You're too far removed, too detached, right? To even pick up the clues, to pick up the hints, to pick up the subtle suggestion, because they send warning signs to their people, to their group, to those that are watching and listening and asking questions. But it's found in the Financial Times. It's found in Bloomberg. Do like I do. Just find it on Facebook and like the page and follow Bloomberg, and it'll pop up on your screen. How much simpler do you want it to be for you and I to win? Our foreparents won, brothers and sisters, with nothing, and we're losing with everything. Shame on us. Shame on us. So Bloomberg was published about the U.S. decline, the U.S. dollar declining, right? I saw somewhere else T. Boone Pickens, a raider. He's called a raider, right? He takes companies, turn them around for profitability that he owns, right? He's a raider. T. Boone Pickens. T. Boone Pickens was quoted as saying here recently in another financial news about the coming recession of America. Now, see, a depression is an extended recession. So when they say recession, they're only saying a cold with possibly a potential pneumonia coming. They never know pneumonia is here until the cold prolongs and progresses into ammonia. But they never say pneumonia. You just don't start off with pneumonia, okay? So T. Boone Pickens, who owns companies. See, when you own companies like T. Boone Pickens in different industries, then based on revenues and based on other factors, he uses that, not the news, because the news lie to people, right? Even CNBC, right? But he has his thumb on the pulse. So as he's managing his assets called businesses, then he sees that there's a drop and things are being affected, and business owners ask questions like why and what's going on, why is that affecting our business? And then he starts getting an idea of the landscape. Then he sees the financial instruments that he uses to run business, to finance business, and how it's tightening, etc., etc., etc. See, brother, so this is what it takes to win at the money game. I'm just going to come and bring it to you and share it with you, because most of us, we just don't have an interest to do it, to learn it. We don't even have an interest to be here. If I was talking about Beyonce and you know, in her formation video, this thing will be packed out, right? Thing will be packed out. If I was talking about some other nonsense, but that's your job to share, brothers and sisters. That's your job to share, okay? So, then I saw also last week in the news that the U.S. government will soon stop allowing those that's on food stamp to buy meat and seafood. Meat and seafood, right? That's what's announced. See, they announce stuff as a hint. It may come to pass, it may not come to pass, but it's a hint. They throwing it out there. They're letting you know that the government is proposing, looking at tightening, and they're always going to tighten up on the poor and middle class. So you say, Darrell, I'm not on food stamp, but you're in the middle class, right? Being squeezed and pushed down to the poor category, and to where you might need food stamps for 6 months. You might need food stamps for a year. See, but so don't get caught up in the technicalities. The fact of the matter is, they're letting you know that the government's going to start squeezing. They have to. If that was your household, you would squeeze. You'd tell your children, honey, you know, we're going to cut back on your birthday party this year. And we're like children, and they're our children. They'll get mad and don't understand why. Honey, I know I said I was going to take you to Hawaii for the summer vacation, but you know, we're going to have to go to Disneyland instead. Well, they might like that. We'll have to go to, you know, whatever, to the movies, right? Might be that drastic, to the movies. Children going to be mad because the children not paying the bills. The children going to be mad because children don't see the finances and how cash flow is being interrupted, or other things have popped up, other expenses. So let me hit this point real quick because we're running out of time. And we'll come back and maybe do a part 2. Breaking news, brothers and sisters, that the government is out of money. Breaking news is that January of 2017, when the new president comes into play, you will start seeing a major cutback on social entitlement programs. Because, see, the poor is disposable. Poor is disposable, brothers and sisters. You know, poor is disposable. That's why I said 2016 is about collaboration and unity for black people. All right? Do you know that state authorities, state governments are selling their assets to foreign investors, to foreign countries? Here in Houston, we have toll roads, right? You probably have toll roads in your city. Well, here in Houston, the city of Houston have sold some of its toll roads to foreign countries. I think Spain has bought some of them. See? But do you know that? No, you don't know that. Is that on the local news? No. Why? Because that'll send alarm up to people. That means you're broke. Anytime you have to borrow, most times, is because you're broke. But they're doing that around the country, selling off assets, right? Buildings that governments own, right? That cities own. DC is doing it. Major cities are doing it because they're having shortfalls, right? They're trying to continue to build. They're trying to do the infrastructures of the roads and pipes and things of that nature that they haven't been doing for forever, right? And as a chastisement of God continue to hit these cities with rain, it weakens the foundation. They don't have any money for it. So what do? They have to borrow. What do you do when you need money and there's no ifs and buts about it? You got to have it. You borrow. That's why there's pawn shops in our neighborhood. That's why there's payday loans in our neighborhood. That's why there's title loans in our neighborhood. Because we got to have it because of shortfall, brothers and sisters. So city governments are selling toll roads and their assets to foreign countries. But that's only because that's what the U.S. government does. There's foreign countries. There's about 4 major foreign countries that buy up the U.S. treasuries. Those are bonds and notes, treasury notes, right? That's stock market stuff, right? So they're buying those up. They're buying those assets. So as the U.S. government produces them to sell on the open market to generate cash flow. Hey, Princess Anna, right? Cash flow. They're selling off these treasuries, or they're selling these treasuries, these U.S. Treasury bonds and notes. But here's what you don't know. One, they don't tell you that. You have to watch CNBC and read financial news and Bloomberg and other financial newspapers that they read. But here's what you don't understand, what you don't know, brothers and sisters, is this. Treasury notes and bonds are debt. They're debt. See? And what you may not know and don't understand, debt has to be paid first out of revenues. Right? First, social services is not at the top of the list to get paid. It's at the bottom of the list to get paid. So as money's coming in and it's paying off these bonds and paying interest on bonds, paying interest on notes, right? Then that trickles down and whatever left we get. So tightening is going to come January 17th, and so they're going to cut off from the bottom line. The bottom, right? The bottom gets cut, right? Which means that more rich people are going to have to, support these nonprofit organizations. They're going to have to give in. And then they're smart enough. They're going to draw back. They have financial advisors that tell them, hey, give just enough to pay less in taxes. But besides that, don't give anymore, right? And if their money is getting cut off because it's a domino effect now with this world economy, then all that is going to cause a trickle effect, brothers and sisters. So here's what we need to do. I think I made that point, right? So they have to pay those debts first. So revenue come in. The number one revenue for America is taxes. So they're going to tax the poor people and the middle class more to generate more cash to pay those bonds, those treasuries, right? Here's what we need to do. A couple things we need to do. One, we need to start learning how to make money fast. I heard a brother tell me years ago, a fast nickel is better than a slow dime. So here's step number one. Give you some steps to do. Learn how to make money faster. How do you do that? You got to use technology, and you have to use your leverage. Somebody put that in there. Make money fast with technology and leverage. Not your effort. Not trading time for dollar, 1 for 1. Right? No. That's not fast. That's slow. That's antiquated. That's outdated. That's what they did during the day of slavery. And that's what will remain if that's the way we make money. Number one, make money fast. Number two, we have to live off of 70%. Max out 80% of what we make. Somebody put that in there. Number one. Number two is we have to live off of 70 to 80% of what we bring in. 70 to 80%. And then the 30 to 20% that we don't spend, we save to invest. We save to invest, not in anything, in what they call hard assets. Hard assets. Something tangible. Now, I don't believe in the stock market, so I'm not talking about the stock market. Invest in hard assets. Business. Physical businesses. Right? Physical business. A business model that includes technology and leverage. Right? Definitely real estate. That includes leverage. It doesn't include, technology. Yeah. You find your deals, right? Use technology to sign your contracts, etc. Definitely real estate. Gold and silver. Something tangible that you have and you control. Stocks you don't have, you don't control. Right? You may have a vote. But what you going to do with 2, 3, 5, 100 votes when they got 20, 30,000 shares out there, 100,000 shares out there? What is that? That's nothing. Right? Then they can cut off dividends when they get ready, and you try to sell it, you can't sell it. See, I mean, what is that? That's not that. Let the big boys play. That's for the rich people to play. That Wall Street is Las Vegas for rich people, not poor people and middle class people. We have to get our foundation right. Then when you get up there in that atmosphere, then you can throw down $100,000 in the stock market, right? And make it 10% in 6 months. Or 10% in a year on 100,000, which let's say $1 million, which is $100,000. See, now you can kick that off to your children. Here you go, honey. Go do something with that. Here you go. See, but you got 20 million, 50 million, 100 million. See, that's what I'm talking about. The rich got richer. But for you and I around here, $50 a month in a mutual fund, what is that gonna do? See, they tell you all these numbers, $50 a month for 50 years. Who got 50? I don't have 50 years. I'm 51 now. I don't have 50 years. Most of us we're forced to be on an accelerated program. Accelerated income generating system. Accelerated. So you should be looking for something that's high performance. And we talked about risk tolerance. So those are 3 things, brothers and sisters. Number one, you got to realize that the breaking news is America's broke. You got to understand that America is going to tighten up. And those of us at the bottom and in the middle, will get squeezed down to the bottom. Because we don't understand unity. We don't understand how to work together. We don't have to understand how to buy collectively. That's why the Asians and everybody come in our neighborhood. And I was talking to a sister that been in the business, beauty, hair salon business 20-some years. Talking about they buy together and they buy it cheaper. Well, what's stopping us from doing that? See, what's going to have to happen is, brothers and sisters, it's going to be just like integration. I mean, just like segregation, right? We did business with each other because we had to. We had no choice. Well, if God got to force us that way again, then he doesn't mind forcing us to do what we should be doing. So if that's what we have to do, he has to do, then get ready for it, because it's coming. All right? You can do voluntarily submit, or you can involuntarily submit. Right? It's up to you and I. We're talking about hashtag black dollars, hashtag black wealth, hashtag black economy, no holds barred, unapologetically. Go to DarrellMuhammad.net. and join in on the conversation in the community. If this is something that you want to do, you're passionate about helping our black community out economically. Number one, right? Number one, learn how to make money fast with technology and leverage. Number two, live off of 70%. Well, I can't. That means you need to increase your income, right? If you can't live off 70%, then you need to increase your income. That's back to number one. Number two, live off 70, 80%. The 30 to 20% you don't live off of, you invest into hard assets, a physical business, network marketing, real estate, right? Gold and silver, something tangible, so you can trade off and sell for cash when things get real bad. All right. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, I don't know if you have any questions. I can't see them, but thank you for being here. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Wednesday is question and answers. So come back with your questions on Wednesdays, and then Friday is Freedom Friday. So hopefully you liked that message. If you did, watch it on the replay and share. If you did, give me some hearts. Give me a heart attack real quick. Give poverty a heart attack real quick, and let me know that you like this message. I'm very passionate about where do we find these hard assets. Oh, brother, at gold and silver, go to my website, DarrellMuhammad.com, and subscribe, because I keep gold with me. Right? See this? That's gold, baby. Gotta get you some gold. Talk is cheap. If you can't translate unseen words into something physical, then you smoke. You just talking smoke. You just talking. Right? Real estate. Go to my website, DarrellMuhammad.net. You'll see my real estate course there. You'll see some things I did on real estate. Go to YouTube, Darrell Muhammad. You'll see things I'm doing and have done and continue to do in real estate. All right. Thank you for the information. Absolutely, brother. No problem. All right. But I told you what they were. Real estate. Go to my website. Gold. Go to my website. Silver. I don't do silver. All right. No particular reason, because I don't have access to it like I do this carat bar gold. Right. And then third, network marketing. All right, been trained by the best. Just had this conversation with, okay, all right. My sister from Houston, you never did call me, says reach out to me. We got to connect gold and real estate, some other things that will be needed. Well, see, this is the thing. I just bought a book and I haven't started reading it yet, called The Rise and Fall of the Roman Empire. Dr. King mentioned that book in his speech. Right? See, when you're going to win at the money game, brothers and sisters, it's about catching hints. Right? It says, hint to the wise is sufficient. You got to catch hints and winks, right? See, they're not going to tell you straight out. They're going to wink to you. They're going to put it in movies. They'll drop it in the least expect place. But it's for those that are aware. They'll catch it and be, I got it. Right? Exactly. Back to those days. This comes actually started in 2000. Okay? So that's what you're looking at. That's what you have to understand. It's an awareness. It's an acute awareness of what's going on around you in a certain space. Right? Some people got acute awareness when it comes to ratchetness. Right? Absolutely. They tell it to us all the time in movies and books. Right? Absolutely. I don't watch movies, but I read enough books and I catch it from everywhere. So they spread it throughout of their society. I spread it out of society. Here's what we've got to do, sister. Yeah, definitely tell them. But if they don't believe, that's why the saying goes, seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. They won't think you crazy if you show them. See, what happens is we do a lot of talking and we don't show. It says seeing is believing. They don't believe. For a person that does not believe, you can't talk them into belief. You got to show them. Show them. Here's my stacks of gold. Right? Here's my real estate portfolio. Right? So when they stuff start going down and your stuff goes up, then they gonna come to you hat in hand, right? Now you was telling me about network marketing. You was telling me about real estate. Yes. But if we just talk and we don't show them anything, then we're really no different than them. We have knowledge that we haven't leveraged into anything material. And for those that don't believe, they have to see. Right? And then we have to show them something as a testimony. Right? People been healed from cancer. God healed them from cancer, but they still got cancer. You got to show me that you've been healed. Breaking off a piece of gold to buy gold. No, that's why you want to get in small grams. See, this is a 1 gram piece of gold. 99.9% pure gold. 1 gram. See, you get them in small increments. All right? Because when push comes to shove, you going to trade that off for food, right? Or transportation to get the hell out of America. And you're not going to get change back. Don't look for change back. Because what kind of change back they going to give you? Dollars that you don't want anyway? They're not going to give you change in gold or silver. So that's why you have to have enough in small pieces where you just drop it on them and keep it pushing. Because your goal, GOAL, is not to get change. Your goal is to get that food. That's why they're getting as much as they can, because who knows how much you will need, right? So instead of you trying to get just enough, which you don't know what just enough is, you get more than enough. You get far more than what you need. You get so much to where it's not even imaginable that you would need that much. That's why it looks so strange to us. Why they need 50, 60 billion and it went up 5 billion last year? Why do they need that? See, a lot of times it's on automatic pilot, brothers and sisters. See, that's what we don't understand. It's on automatic pilot, so it generates. It's just like we talked about money as a seed. You plant that, right? You plant that seed. You don't know how many kernels of corn is going to come up, right? So you plant a whole bunch of seeds, and now they all sprouting up 3 times the amount that you imagine. Or later on it has some growth spurts. See, so that's what happens. So it's not always, like I say, don't be cynical. It's not always they just being greedy. Oh, they planting now. Don't get me wrong. They planting and cultivating the ground and picking out the weeds, right? And fertilizing the soil. Oh, don't get it wrong. They pruning. They doing it all now, right? They doing it all. So that's what we have to do in order to win the money game, brothers and sisters. It's not hard. It's just that nobody has come and told us or gave us a comprehension on how this thing is going to go. When a movie director puts together a movie, he does the whole movie, right? He does the whole movie on a board, right? And visualizes the whole thing first. And he makes adjustments as he goes along. But not this stuff we doing. Make more money, 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 buy a bigger car. Make more money, make more money, make more money, buy a bigger house. Make more money, make more money, make more money, and, whatever. Consume. Do a little planting. Consume, do a little planting. No. Plant, do a little consuming. Plant, do a little consuming. Plant, and let your plant produce your consumption. Just like harvesting, right? That's why the scripture talks about an open field awaits the wide awake man or woman. A field to work out in. Not a football field, not a baseball field, not a soccer field, right? A field so you to go out and work out in. So we got this field called America and this game called the money game to work out in. So thank you very much, sisters and brothers. Thank you for your time. We went over because of questions, but it's a message that I had to bring to you. We had to bring to you. We're going to bring it to you more often because, see, nobody's going to remind you on a constant and regular basis that this thing is going down. Most of us are not listening to those kind of people because that's too frightening. See, that puts the responsibility on you and I as children. We always want to, depend on mommy and daddy to look out for us. But that only shows us to the degree that we are dependents, right? and they write us off on their taxes, I'm sure. I don't know. America is an incorporation. They probably write us off on their taxes as dependents. That might be why they give socially to programs, right? For the underprivileged and stuff. They probably get that off as a write-off. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what them boys are doing at the top? And those of us at the top, they can't tell us because they'll have to pay with their life. So brothers and sisters, thank you so very much for your time. That's enough. We can go on and on and on. But remember, for those that don't believe what we're telling them, seeing is believing. So until next time, we'll see you at the top, not from the top, because you, your family, but most importantly, our black community deserves your very best. Now watch the replay and share it. All right? If not, shame on you. Take care. God bless. All right, Meerkats. Hopefully you enjoy that mini. Let's see what we got down here. I couldn't see. It's below me. Mini, whatever that is, apps. Thank you very much. Who else? Thank you very much. DarrellMuhammad.net. See you tomorrow. Take care.